Okay, welcome everyone to the Pro Trade Room Plus and the Quarterly Grains Report. My name is Lee Goldstein, the Trading Director at 10 Minute Trades. Please remember, all the trades we discuss for educational purposes. Give me a heads up, please, that you can hear me. No, no ZC on prop accounts. You can't trade corn on Bull and Ox or Apex, I don't believe either. So there is a way to check. So for instance, I have a Bull and Ox account. I've got corn. I'm going to try to place an order far away, product not permissioned. I'm trading corn. Uh, you can trade ZS. I don't think. Now, it is quarterly grains. It's not NOPA. So there could still be movement from soybeans. There still could be. First, let me check volume real quick. Let's make sure we're on the right instruments. That's the first thing I want to check. So quarterly grains. I am concentrating on corn. I think corn is going to be the better move, even though it hasn't been behaving as well as soybeans have been. Soybeans generally move more, and we've had twice as many good trades over the past 6 reports. Now, corn is ZC 1225, soybeans is 1125. And I just wanted to check volumes. So I'm going to new market analyzer. And I do want to say hello to everyone that's watching us on YouTube. Thank you for joining us on YouTube. Just a heads up that we have a trap trade reversals webinar on Thursday. So I'll put the link in the chat for all the folks on YouTube. You're welcome to join us. And for all of us, Thursday's webinar. All right. So just curious about, so soybeans, ZS11, that's a good contract to trade. ZC, corn looks good. I do think that January, it's 2026. God help me. There's already pretty strong volume in January on soybeans. I'll bet corn has even more. Now, I don't think ZC trades. Well, it's already on 12. Let's take a look. ZC. Does it have a January? No, it doesn't. Is it all the way into March? I don't know these contracts as well as I know others. March has volume, a little bit of volume. We're on the right contracts. I just wanted to double check. So corn, you can't trade in Bull and Ox, probably not in Apex also. And you can trade soybeans. Soybeans are allowed. It definitely takes a soybean trade. So it is what it is. I think we're going to get a good corn move today. That's what I'm thinking. Soy is a grain. Yes. Soy is considered a grain. Beans. Beans. Beans, beans. The musical fruit. The more you eat. I'm not going to say it. Going to our DMM. Yes, they're legumes. Legumes. How do you pronounce that? Legumes. All right. Grain stocks corn. It's a breakout trade. Trade type breakout. Activate. Activate. Um, 11:59:58. Bracket is 10. Let's see if we can get by with a bracket of 10. Legumes. Thank you. I was kidding. I actually did know that. I'm using pretty much the DMM for our targets. It's $12.50 a tick on the grains that we're trading today. I will use a BE -7. Just want it out of the way, preferably. I will set up a secondary trade also. This report doesn't reverse as well as WASD, but it can reverse. Okay, that's the reality. It can reverse. WASD is better when it comes to reversing. Now, interestingly, in January every year, WASD and quarterly grains trade together. And it was really no great shakes this year, if I remember correctly. We'll look at some videos. Let's get our trade set up. There's nothing special, nothing to worry about with corn. One thing we do recommend. Let me set up the trade. 11:59:58 on corn, bracket of 10. 10 and 30 on the targets, 25 on the stop. All right. We're going to check our bracket. Going to check our bracket in Sim by putting the time to 0. Excuse me. Excuse me. Who used to do that? Was that Jim Carrey that used to do that? Now, I realize we are at a triple magnet. Corn has a triple magnet. PP, previous open, but that's going to change because we are going to first get our trade set up, but not enable it. 11:59:58. That's our time, Eastern time. And I'm trading this in our cash account. It's the only way I can trade corn. And I do like this trade. I'm a believer. Daydream believer. No, I'm a believer. It's Steve Martin. Thank you. He's got COVID. He's sick. I hope he's better. I love Steve Martin. He had to cancel a concert. Anybody see the song he recorded with Jackson Brown and I forget who the woman is, very famous. Really nice little song. I think Steve Martin wrote it. If anybody knows the name of that song, I forget. Time died. I can't remember. Anyway, corn trade is set up on the breakout, but thing you got to do on corn and soybeans, right click the chart, click data series. Trading hour template, change it to default 24/7. Default 24/7. The pivots calculate slightly differently for corn and soybeans. It's not a giant deal. Right click the chart, data series, trading hours, change it to default 24/7. That's the correct template for corn and soybeans. Now I'm also going to set up a reverse continuation. Uh, it looks a little weird. It should normalize as we get closer to the trade. It's okay. We'll be all right. Make sure you're on a 1 minute chart with corn. Make sure you're on a 1 minute chart. Corn, it looks like there hasn't been a lot of volume. But I'm turning off enabled. It's not 326. There's not enough volume for 326. There is no corn for 126. There's no such instrument. There's no 2. So our only really valid instrument is 1225. ZC 1225. That's our only valid instrument. I'm going to check my bracket one more time because I'm messing with the charts. What am I going to trade it in? 23, I guess. Oh, no, I'm live. I forgot. I got to wake up here. I'm live on this, baby. And then I'm going to set up a reverse continuation. We're right at the highs. Not a lover of that. But grains are only, right now they're up $3 from the previous day. They're somewhat negative since midnight. Quite a bit of negativity since midnight. All right, so put the time back, 11:59:58, bracket of 10, targets of 10 and 30, stop of 25. Put the account on live, trading cash on this one, and our trade is ready. I'm setting up an after the news trade, one contract. Reverse continue. Now the calendars do not get this report. Nobody reports on this. We will know if we have a news release because we'll get filled. And it usually fills pretty quick. I'll do a 20 tick target on my reverse continuation and a 20 tick stop. It's just a discretionary trade. ZC reverse continuation, same account. Apply it, okay. All right, so we have a breakout ready to go, and then soybeans. And I do think we will get a move on soybeans. I really do. I think we'll get a move. And I'll trade this in 23. Breakout trade 11:59. 59, 58 is what we said. It's probably not going to matter at all. And on soy burgers, we've got also small brackets this morning. Bracket at 10. 8. I think you can go between 8 and 50 on both of these targets, on both reports. All right. I'm going to go smaller on soy because I'm not managing soy. I'm going to be managing the cash trade. Stop is 25, and I'm doing the same reverse continuation. Not reverse continuation, the break even, -5, similar. The account, so this is a breakout, soybeans. And we'll do this in number 23. Let's put the time to 0 for a minute. Make sure I'm on 23. All right, a little bit wide on the bracket there. So now I'm going to go back and put soybeans. Somebody tell me why they don't allow corn to be traded, but they allow soybeans to be traded. It makes 0 sense, no sense whatsoever. And then we will also set up a reverse continuation on soybeans. Why are we thinking that the move will be better on corn? Because since the tariffs, what has happened to our NOPA trade? No movement whatsoever on soybeans. Why? Because China and no one is buying soybeans anymore because Trump has killed the soybean business with tariffs. Why buy U.S. soybeans when you can buy them? I forget which country they're saying they're buying them. South America, a country in South America. They're much cheaper. Why buy them here? I know farmers are dying. Venezuela, it might be. It might be Venezuela, believe it or not. I forget where it is, but it's a big issue because we're bailing them out also. It's insanity. I don't even want to talk about it. Soybean reverse continue. Soybean reverse continue. And that's in the same account, number 23. Apply it, okay it. Soybeans. So we have a breakout for each instrument. I don't think it's Nitin. I don't think it was Brazil. I don't think it was Brazil. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Okay, a couple of quick videos. Just amazing, amazing video. Quarterly grains going back to 2022, $1,000 winner on corn. $1,000 winner on corn. We had a $2,000 winner around that same time frame. We had some unbelievable quarterly grain moves. It's more focused now. It's not quite as big. We're not seeing $1,000 moves at the moment. And there's all these extra issues that you have to deal with. So it's a little bit harder to trade lots of contracts when there's uncertainty on what's going to move. That's one of the things we're dealing with. We do have some uncertainty. Now, going back to June, soybeans were decent. Not anything to write home about, to be honest. Looks like there was some slippage. And then corn did not have a good move at all in June. But I think Things are a little bit different now because the tariffs have had months for the markets to try and figure out what's going on. It was a canceled move in June. So the government does not shut down until the White House issues some sort of memo. They're going to shut this government down, I believe. That's what it looks like. And everybody's going to blame everyone else. The truth is, it's a complete and total failure. Both sides, total failure. This government is not working at the moment. That seems obvious. Here we go. This was March. Quarterly grains. Soy on the left, corn on the right. Corn, we didn't realize we couldn't trade it in March. We got a no permission. And it had a decent move, too. It would have been nice had we gotten a nice email. Did a quick reversal also. It would be nice to get a quick email, right? That, hey, you cannot trade corn in your account, but you can trade soybeans. But there was no notice, no nothing. January, I'm not going to show January because January was with WASD. So a year ago, September, we're going to look at. So a year ago, September, soy on the left, corn on the right. We were able to trade corn in our prop account. And we were just trading it as a reverse continuation, which was a shame because it had a great move or a good move. The chart was spread pretty wide, but it still had a good move. So that's only 4 ticks. So that's only about a 20 tick move. It's not an 80 tick move. All right. So I'll be concentrating on corn to see if we get a safe move on corn. The breakout on soy will be on the right. So the announcement Trump made an announcement in pharmaceuticals. We're going to reduce prices 100% or more. If you reduce prices 100%, that means they're free. You can't reduce more than 100%, right? Let's take a math lesson. Math, science, those are things that actually have value. So when you speak, you can speak where it has some sense to it. You can't drop prices 100%. You can, but all pharmaceuticals, I guess, are going to be free. So I'm for that. I'm game. Give me some free pharmaceuticals. And I'll sell them on the corner. We'll start up a new business. Pharmaceuticals. 10-minute pharmaceuticals. Sounds good. So what do you think? Corn or soy? Are we right? Is our analysis right? Is it going to matter? Is it going to be a better move on corn than it is on soybeans because of the tariffs? I'm not sure. All we know, our data on the NOPA report has been since April, there's been no fills, no movement. Also, on the last couple of WASD reports, we've seen much better activity from corn. So we're not just randomly making this up, right? We would never randomly make it up. There is some sense to our analysis. Brackets are going to show up in a moment. There's the brackets. Now look, we could get no movement out of anything. There's no guarantee we're going to have a big moving trade. That was the move. That's the news. It's either going to continue down or it's not going to work. All right? It's either going to continue down or it isn't going to work. Soybeans popped up. Corn is trying to move down, trying to grab a little profit out of corn. If I can grab a little bit, I'll get my stop to safety so I won't lose cash on this trade. Okay? Now, I don't think it's going to get that far. So what we'll do is just grab some profit here. All right, grab $100 in our cash account on not a very big move, turning off the breakout on corn. Soybeans, it hit you got 2 ticks, it looks like, 2 ticks of profit. Now, soybeans, turning off the breakout, we'll look at the video in a minute. Soybeans look like they want to go up and test the high. So do a small scalp, see if we could get like 5 or 6 ticks. That's all I'm looking for. The stop is below the low. You know, it's not a great place. Sorry about that. It's not a great place for magnets because we're so tight in between the high, in between the low. When I try to just click on the whatchamacallit, the link, not the link, but the pivot, the high of day, it turns on the low of day also. But I just went for a couple of extra ticks. We made about $75 on the scalp. We made $100 on corn. There just wasn't a very big move, folks. Not a very big move. Frank, 8 ticks was about all you could get. Maybe that was good. Now maybe corn's going to continue pushing up. I mean soybeans. Corn just looks like it doesn't really have the ultimate direction. I would think the direction should be short on corn. It was the initial direction. Has it failed to the upside? That's the question. If it has, it should start going back down again. Corn, you're right in the middle. Soybeans, I mean, you're right in the middle of the high and low. It made the high, and now it's maybe trading off the high for a reversal. There wasn't enough movement to really go crazy with anything here. Disappointing in terms of the size of the move. Okay? Just not that big. Not that big. Corn, depending where you got filled, that has a lot to do with what your trade was. Just curiosity. Nitin, where was your corn fill? Where was your corn fill? My corn fill short was 416 in cash. 416 in cash. Okay, very similar today. Prop and cash, very similar fills. And then I don't care about soybeans. It doesn't matter. Soybeans was prop. Soy was prop. So a little bit of profit available on both instruments depending on how you took it, but it looked like there was a little bit on both. Let's look at the video because I didn't see exactly what happened to soybean on the initial trade. Let's take a look at the video. For a quarterly grain report, not a very big move. You got to wonder, are tariffs really hurting the grain? We know they're hurting the soybean market. Well, I don't know how much they're hurting the corn market. And also, you don't have any workers to pick the crops. A lot of crops for some farmers are dead in the fields because there's no one available to work because they're afraid of being arrested. So it's not a great farming scenario at the moment. Let's look at quarterly grains. And you could see the corn price is now just kind of consolidating. And also soybeans. Not a lot of activity. Not a lot of activity. So there's not a lot to reverse. You know, when you don't get a decent sized move, you don't get a lot to reverse, right? So that's always part of your plan. If your move isn't big, you might not have a big reversal. You can get a continuation, right? But they are in pretty tight ranges. Look, the high and the low, and we started out right in the middle of them before the trade took place. Both grains were in extremely tight ranges. Let's look at the video. I truly thought we'd get a little bit more out of corn. I did think we'd get more. But this is trading. You can analyze until the cows come home, and it doesn't always do what you expect, or want, or need. Watching corn first on the left in cash. Corn was in cash. Now, I like a trade a lot if I'm going to trade it in cash, right? I trust the setup. Even with all the issues, I do trust the setup. It's a reliable, quarterly grains has been a moneymaker over the years, more than not. You could kind of tell today, just, there's the news. The news came out 20 seconds after the hour. That's normal, very common. And then it just took its sweet time following through. It took its time. There was a little bit of slippage, a little bit, before we got filled. All right, so corn was just a normal small breakout. That's all it was. A normal small breakout on corn. And then soybeans. What happened on soybeans? Okay, we put the trade on 20 seconds after the news. Soybeans are going to pop and fill long. There they go. They hit the first target, which was only 8 ticks, and then it reversed. That's what happened. And hit our BE minus 5. So we only made a couple of ticks. That's what happened. Okay. Now, had we not moved the stop, it did go negative. It did go winner to loser, but it did go winner to loser. Watch for a minute. But it never really would have been a problem. So you could have made a little bit more by not using the break-even stop move, okay? I am going to be less aggressive on using that feature. Going to use much bigger settings, meaning not as close to profit as we've been using, so that we can grab a little bit of extra profit on these small reversals that don't stop us out, but eat up some of the profit. And then you could see there was, so it could, instead of making 37 on soybeans, you might have made 137 on soybeans. That's the difference. All right. So again, though, another move that you're not really going to write home about. Both charts look so similar, isn't that crazy? Just different directions. Now what I'm going to do is put my right-click data series, put my trading hours back to use instrument settings, the default, because that's what we use 99% of the time. Use instrument settings, apply it, and OK it. Right-click the corn chart and do the same thing. Data series, trading hours, use instrument settings. All that does, it changes the times calculating of pivots and EMAs and highs of days. That's what that does. Trading hours is exactly what it sounds like. And the grains have radically different trading hours than the instruments, most of the instruments. That's why the pivots are calculated differently. Okay? Now, just a heads up, everyone in the trade room. Let me just say goodbye to YouTube. Thank you on YouTube for joining us. Really appreciate it. That will be a live stream that stays up. Hit the like bell, the like button, hit the notification bell so you know the next time we're streaming. And thank you on YouTube for joining with us today.